1 Million Cups app on your device, and please log in. From there, you'll be able to sit there and make comments as well as on the cards, but you'll also be able to go ahead and have, we'll have a record that you were here, and that helps the Kaufman Foundation in keeping things going properly. So it's just go to your, if you don't already have it, just go to the 1 Million Cups in your app store, download it. It only takes a minute to create the account and log in. All right? So today, September 4th, 1 Million Cups is a weekly event that's designed to bring entrepreneurs together under a cooperative spirit where what we do together is help one another to benefit our presenters, to cooperative help without any, I would say, adversity, or not adversity, without any animosity, okay? So every idea is a good idea, but please remember that you're here to help, not to criticize, all right? So if you don't already have the September parking pass, we have some in the back. We'll usually go out and run the pass into your car. If you were able to download it from the email, great, you're all set. You don't have to worry about a thing. Remember to log into the 1 Million Cups app. For today, we've got the presentation, Q&A. Keep in mind that you have the opportunity both from the app and the note cards in front of you to go ahead and pose your questions or comments if you're not chosen during the Q&A session. You're able to follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram as well. All right. Now, in order to facilitate this every week, it takes a wonderful group of people to coordinate together and help so that we can both market, photograph, and recruit our presenters. So at this time, if I could welcome all of our organizers up, please. Step forward so we're not.
I'll never know.
Oh, we have almost everybody here today. So we'll start over here with John.
John Riepenberg, cccsolutions.com.
Russ McIntosh, Vision Idea Design.
Tony Barnett, Engold Group, and today I am channeling Donnell, who is off spreading the word about 1 Million Cups.
Jen Dalton, Brand Mirror.
Hi, I'm John Yu with Office Evolution.
Randy Mullican, I'm unemployed.
Our newest member, by the way.
Yes, our new organizer. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Maya Shimon with the Tea Center. And Laura Drain, and thank you for your birthday wishes posted in 1 Million Cups.
Yes, and happy birthday, everybody.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday. We don't need to sing, but I was tempted to do it. Now, because our organizers do such a great job, in order to support us, we also have sponsors. So I would like to go ahead and please welcome up at this time John Yu, our facility sponsor who provides us with this great space each week.
All right, thanks, Tony. So yeah, welcome again. Lots of new faces. So I'm with 1 Million Cups as well, but I'm also with Office Evolution. So we're located just across the lobby here. We provide fully furnished office space, co-working space, and what's different about us is the community that we're building, and that's why we're partnering with 1 Million Cups, because it takes a village to make a company. And so yeah, welcome again, and enjoy the meeting. Thank you.
I'd also like to welcome the Medical Society of Northern Virginia, who is our coffee sponsor this week and this month. So please come on up.
Hi everyone, my name is Claudia Reyes. I am the Executive Director at the Medical Society of Northern Virginia. I've been there for the past 12 years. And we represent over 1,600 physicians who live, practice, or have hospital privileges in the Northern Virginia area hospitals. But they're also small business owners like many of you. And over the past 5 years, we've done a lot of advocacy work to get our legislators to think about the bills that they pass and how they have implications in the practice of medicine. But what pertains to you today is really healthcare, access to good health insurance. Many of you are directed to the exchange right now, and the exchange in Fairfax County and in Loudoun County only have 3 options or 2 options. That's all. And so we are really pushing for our legislators to pass a bill that would allow nonprofit associations to buy good health insurance for their members. And so This is a great opportunity for a lot of small business owners to get together and sort of push for the same thing with your local legislators. If you want to learn a little bit more about our initiatives, visit us at msnba.org/advocacy. And that's it.
Thank you. You're welcome. So today we have a unique situation. I want to personally welcome to the community the team of business leaders who are watching us this morning, all the way from South Korea. So we are right now streaming to South Korea. I don't know if they're able to comment or not back through the live feed, but we welcome them all to the community and hope that they get a benefit from watching us today and not put too much undue pressure onto our presenters, okay? All right. So let me really quickly, just so that we can get a good grasp of everybody who's here today. We have a wonderful crew today. Let's go around the room very quickly and just say your name and the company name. And we'll start right over here with the back right there. John, right there.
Good morning, all of you. My name is John Urobo, and I'm with Catchiness Shields Research. So it's a young startup that public safety research startup.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Lisa Hughes with Health Markets, employee benefit options, and more.
Joe Gilson with Analyze It.
Susanna Martins with the Medical Society of Northern Virginia.
Okay.
Deb Cohen, management consultant specializing in HR and leadership.
Murat Özkan, Destex LLC. I'm an engineering consultant to help startups.
And here.
Oh, sorry. I'm Bobby Salem. I am a tutor and publisher of mathematics books.
I'm Tom Scheib, Long and Foster Realtor. My specialty in the marketplace is the senior marketplace.
John Rutenberg, cccSolutions.com. We help business owners and sales professionals generate and manage qualified leads.
Mr. Fake.
I'm Gary Fake, Collaboration Management Sciences, a part of Executive Advisors.
Laura.
Admin, Random Works Marketing. Karen Shaw, Fairfax County Economic Development Authority.
John Yu, Office Evolution.
Yasha.
Maya Schumann is with the T-Sun Commuter Child Care Center in McLean.
Will Curl, I created Viewer Cards. This is a product that helps people exchange contact information. You simply tap the phone against the card and it gets all the data into the phone.
I'm Gary Cohen, Suitlis Incorporated, unified back office support for small, medium-sized business.
Gretchen Richards with Dynamic Business Capabilities. We help with issues with people and process.
For the Hoisington Airport Jewel, what's going on, John? Website and digital marketing services.
Russ McIntosh, in addition to Vision Idea Design, I'm also the board director for the ambassadors of Central Fairfax Chamber of Commerce.
Dr. Connie Hamrock, Hamrock Holistic Healing Center. I do massage, cranial sacral, and hypnosis.
Mark Epstein, 3 days retired.
Ken Portnoy, Tyson's Regional Toastmasters. We're the most cost-effective public speaking and leadership development program in the known universe.
Nice. And our published author.
Mark Silverman, Executive Coach, Podcast Host.
And our second published author.
Jen Dalton, brand mirror, personal branding for entrepreneurs and executives.
John Lippitz with Fish and Explore. We fish and explore.
And the back over here.
Anita Washington, That Ended Live. I have a television show and a podcast.
Alan Anderson and I help small businesses with their sales efforts.
John Foster, Ambassador for Green for Organic Cafe.
Randy?
Hi, Randy Mulliken. I'm a retired Army officer. I'm unemployed. If you have a job, come see me.
There we go.
And my name's Whitney. I'm with HaulShare.
All right. And now it would be redundant if I asked both of you to sit there and say it, but I'll be redundant anyway.
Hi, my name's Tommy McCoy, and I'm from HaulShare.
And I'm Abhishek Luther. I'm also with HaulShare.
Okay. So, without further ado, I would like to go ahead and introduce our presenters today. HaulShare, welcome on up, and watch out for the cord. Are you good to go, then? Okay.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Tommy McCoy, as I just said. This is my partner, Abhishek Luthra. We also have our brand strategist here, Whitney Roberts, in the audience. Say hi, Whitney.
Hello, everyone.
And we're here to talk to you guys this morning about HaulShare. So HaulShare is a service that connects people that need junk removal services with local haulers. One of the most absurd things you'll hear today is that 108 billion pounds of junk-related waste is thrown away by Americans each year. The second most absurd thing you'll hear today is that 1 out of 4 people say they don't know where to begin the junk removal process, which explains why over the past 15 years, the search term for junk removal has nearly tripled, according to Google. Let's see, asking a question, sorry. So search terms have doubled, and that's only kind of half the problem. The other part of the problem is when people do find a solution, they typically run into this problem. Long wait times, typically 1 to 3 day average wait time, inaccurate estimates, meaning you can get an estimate over the phone or email, but when they show up, it may change. The user experience isn't there, and they're usually when you make an order or you request services, it's through unsecured payments, either cash or check. And this inefficiency is right for tech guys like ourselves.
Now, taking into consideration all these pain points that customers were having is what really went into building our solution. The result, the easiest way to declutter. We put an emphasis on user experience, and technology is a big part of that. And using our network of haulers, we're able to bring down the average wait time from days to hours. Further, since we are a tech platform, we're able to make sure that payments happen in a secure fashion online. There's no need to worry about haggling with the price or worry about checks or any of that insecure payment forms that Tommy was alluding to earlier. Now, our primary use cases are obviously in-home and curbside pickups, but HaulShare is also has value for local businesses, community cleanups, as well as HOA association, property managers, etc.
All right, so we built our market segment based off of occupied households. It's a bit difficult to really figure out how many people use junk removal services simply because the industry is quite new, at least the corporatized industry of it. It was usually more of a mom and pop type thing 15, 20 years ago. Now it's completely different. So how we segmented the market was based on households. Obviously, the total available market is somewhere between 16.2 billion. We've targeted down the market DC area to about 225 million people that we believe that we could service and address. How we make money. So we have a 20% commission that we take off of each collection. So our average collection point is about $132 right now. 20% of that leaves us about a $60 million pool here in the DC local area. Our customer tiers. So some of our customer tiers, like Abby alluded to, are property managers, military bases, small businesses, apartment complexes. Our tier 2 customer is more of our one-off residential customer.
Now, this is a quick overview of our financials over the last 12 months. As you can see, overall, we have been trending upwards. One of our major accomplishments within the last 12 months is, one, we have completed over 100 orders, and we've reached profitability within 7 months. One thing to note, our entire HaulShare is completely bootstrapped by me and Tommy here. And so really there's just all the funding that's been between me and Tommy. Now, since I did mention that we do focus on user experience, and technology is a big part of that, we really focus on making sure our platform utilizes the latest technologies. And what comes with that is low IT costs. We utilize cloud technologies to make sure our solution is highly scalable and highly available to customers.
So who's going to be providing the service for us? So today we've noticed that not only are the layman or the average worker has been transitioning from a normal 9-to-5 job to more of a gig economy base. In 2005, we had about 10% of the market were actually gig-based workers. Today, we're looking at more about 16%, probably even closer to 20% of the people are now gig-based. We've also noticed that companies are starting to move in this direction. And one of the reasons why we found that out was because downtime for vehicles, it costs money if they're not running. So what HaulShare does is kind of fit in those gaps. But when small businesses or startup companies they need the work to subset that cost, fits right into their business model. So our Haul Pro, we call our haulers Haul Pros. So we have about 11,000 active junk removal companies in the country right now. We, based on our average monthly earnings from our Haul Pros, around $1,100 right now. So we have a potential, we scaled out to a potential of about $155 million of potential revenue for these guys. And today we have about 17 local firms that are prepared to jump on the platform when we're prepared for them. How they make money. Like I said earlier, we take 20% of the transaction fee, the haulers get about 80%. So we're looking at about a $238 million revenue pool over the next 5 years.
Now, sticking with our theme of focusing on the customer and user experience, we really engaged our Haul Pros when developing our application for them. And one of the things we learned when we were engaging with them is they're conducting business in a number of different ways, from text messages, phone calls, they're taking orders over email. And so what they really wanted was a centralized location to handle all that. And that's exactly what we built. It's an easy to use platform where they can track their orders, they can see how much they're earning, as well as schedule their pickups and deliveries.
That is a real order, by the way. It's not fake. Okay, so our growth strategy. What are we doing? How do we grow? How do we acquire customers? Right now, we're more in the build-up phase where we're trying to get some referral marketing in. What we really came to 1 Million Cups for is to find a strategic partner. How we can jump into people that have large networks so that we can get some repeat customers. As I mentioned, I didn't say it, but I mentioned earlier in the slide that we have about a 1.40 return rate through our clicks, meaning you search for it one time, it's a one-off service, you don't search for it again the following month or the same month. So what happens is we would love to jump into a partnership where we can get some repeat customers, people using our service each and every day. What we know, 2/3 of the economic growth is going to happen in the top 20 cities in America in the next 20 years. What our competitors are mostly focused on are suburban customers, right? The top 3 players only combine for about 20% of the revenues. And they're all franchise based. So you're talking about the 1-800.jumps, the college songs. I'm sure you guys have heard of them. They are, when it's only a franchise model, they're reducing the quality of service and there's competitive pricing issues. They've also struggled to reach and connect with the millennial market. As I mentioned, not many people know how to engage with junk removal companies. They're more focused on operational efficiencies, how to run their business more effectively. Not really addressing the pain points of the customers, which is why they're still there. Here's how kind of our competitive landscape looks. Again, you have your more traditional haulers over to the right, or to your left, more of an offline transaction, slow wait times, long wait times, and you hear how HaulShare, some of our competitors over here are more of an online, quick to service type of services.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, we have been in operation for about 12 months. And within those 12 months, we have accomplished some significant things. Everything from launching our MVP to obtaining profitability. Looking forward, we really want to focus on growth and scalability. Now, your question may be, why are we the best team to do this?
So I myself personally come from about 65 years of industry experience with my family. My great-grandfather had a waste company. My dad has a waste company currently.
And I am a cybersecurity engineer with a background in software engineering, so I bring a tech-focused mentality to HaulShare.
So our question here for 1 Million Cups today is, how can we best expand our tier 1 customers, which are our property management firms, our real estate agents, our furniture retailers, etc. How can we better approach them and try to engage them to grow that customer base? Thank you.
Russ will be the moderator, so we're going to ask some of the audience for questions and remarks. Unless Miles was supposed to do it?
Yeah.
Well, Miles said you can do it.
It doesn't matter.
Can you go back to John's question?
It's just one.
So, okay, I'm the moderator. So, if you can remember to check in on your phones, 1 Million Cups app, please let me go ahead. I don't think we have people checked in. We do? We do? Okay. All right. Questions?
Sure.
Yes.
Originally, you were talking about individual customers, and I got the impression that your interface was designed to solve the pain points of individual customers. Is that the same interface for these customers, or do you need to make changes in order to accommodate this different tier 1 customer?
That's a fantastic question. And yes, it is a different look and appearance. So we have our front end application that is designed for the one-off customer. However, we literally just launched our HaulShare property management application, which is a bit different. Abby can kind of go into a little bit more detail quickly.
We can go offline for a deep dive on it, but essentially it's a more a personalized experience for property managers because since they have different use cases than the one-off customers.
Jen, and then you.
Can you speak a little bit to the companies you work with? Because I heard sort of two Haul Pro types.
Yeah.
One is the Uber for waste management, right? So somebody can just sign in, go get something, get rid of it. But the second, I think, is working with companies like 123 Junk.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit to the different companies and how you interface with them and how you work with them?
Sure. Well, as of right now, we're working with local haulers. So typically your mom and pop guys, guys with maybe a truck, they're business owners, but not quite sure how to run their business. So we interface with a lot of them. Most of the time it's me and Abby sitting down and talking with them to onboard them. We do not work with the 1-800-GOT-JUNK models yet, just because it's a
123
longer.
Junk is a local company. It's not a 1-800-JUNK, just so you know.
They're regional. We're working with real grassroots companies, guys that they're doing this for a living. They're not franchise based. They maybe have 1 or 2 trucks, things of that nature. That know the community, work in the community, raise their kids here, and they know how to treat people. So that's why we wanted to make sure we interface with them.
Yes.
Yeah, I also want to say that I think this is a great business model, especially for this area, just because there's such high turnover with it's like politics, like every 2 years, like people take their stuff with them. I was thinking that if you're going to partner, like have you thought of like doing stuff with WeWork, make offices, spaces? Because those type of offices, like people will have shop and they'll grow. They'll set up shop there and then they'll grow and then they can move to a bigger office.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
maybe that could be like the network that you're looking for.
Sure, we've have been looking into doing having partners like that, but when you're a 2-man, well, we're really a 4 or 5-man shop, but we're trying to get the low-hanging fruit. That's kind of what we've approached first. So the first thing that came to mind were just waste companies, right? So our first clients were actually my parents' waste company clients.
Okay.
We kind of interfaced and connected into their value chain. But yeah, absolutely, man. We're trying to get a hold of who the right person is or who we can go to partner. That answered your question.
Tony and him. I also wanted to let you know, please can you write down your input in the cards?
So I have this right. If not now, but eventually, if I own a pickup truck and I'm not working or I want to do something on weekends and stuff like that, I can become a partner on the HaulShare app, and then it would operate a similar function to Uber, where it would distribute or it would dispatch jobs to me, and I'd go pick up the stuff and take it to haul it to a junkyard for drop off. Is that correct?
Yes. As of right now, that's not how we're set up. I want to be careful by using the word Uber for junk removal, just because we're not that.
So
right?
you're connecting hauling companies and stuff like that.
Correct. We're
right
connecting
now.
hauling companies, and I can go into further detail outside of the time frame. However, just to kind of answer it quickly, we wanted to approach the hauling companies first for 2 reasons. One, because they already were doing the service. We didn't have to train them to do it. Right. Number 2, they have insurances, licenses that we didn't have to provide up first initially. So yeah, down the road, of course, we would love to have anybody that just needs some work, that has a pickup truck that is not busy, jump in, get some orders, and collect that.
Okay, so I have a follow-up on that is the fact that you rapidly jumped to profitability within a matter of 30 to 60 days.
Yeah.
How did you do that? What customer base did you activated quickly enough and responded to you fast enough for you to have that jump?
Yeah, so initially, like I mentioned, our first customers were my parents' customers, right? So my parents have a waste management company, and we just interfaced directly into their system. And that's kind of how we built this process out. Working for the company, I grew up, I rode on my dad's lap when I was 4 or 5 years old. I've developed relationships over my entire lifespan with property management firms, real estate agents. And I got together with them and said, look, if I build this thing out, would you guys use it? So we had about 100 orders before we even launched. So boom, we jumped in immediately and they started pushing orders to us.
Yes.
So your tier 1 customer is the same customer of waste management, BFI. I mean, you're going head to head for those types of companies and they already have weekly, daily contracts with those customers, right?
Correct.
Well, not quite, because we're not competing with the waste management company. We're competing with our one-off customers are the junk hauling company. So they do so it's like there's a couch sitting out there on the lawn, but they need to get rid of an old mattress. Waste management companies do pickups of waste, so like trash, just slightly different.
Sure, but they're already there and, you can schedule as a property manager, hey, we've got couches, come get them because we already have an existing relationship contract.
Yeah.
Same thing with the furniture guys. They've got guys coming in, on a regular basis. How are you differentiating, from those mega companies to say, hey, we've got a 2-truck operation that's going to come in and.
Sure, no, that's great. That's a great point. So initially, waste hauling companies are historically hard to deal with or hard to get in touch with, right? So what happens is the property management firms are kind of left there hanging, not really sure what to do. They wait weeks at a time to get a response back. So what we kind of jump right into is, hey, the platform's easy to use. It's immediate. You don't have to worry about tracking people down. And I'm not sure if anybody knows any property managers here, but their lives are hectic and crazy. They're managing 10 plus properties each. They don't have time to sit and wait to get a phone call back because they have a tenant or they have a board member saying, hey, there's crap that's been left here. We need it gone. We can't wait 2 to 3 days. The trash company has to wait until they come back, either on a Tuesday or a Friday, or in most cases, it has to get the call 2-3 days in advance, get a reply. And it's a hard process to manage.
And sometimes they won't even take it because they don't want to take the risk of loading up a mattress into the back of their truck because it might break the equipment, like we were mentioning earlier.
Sure.
Jen, and then you.
You talked about millennials, and I think this is true for every generation, not just millennials. But do you have a way to onboard the recipient of that material? Right. So if you look at Salvation Army, nonprofits who want some of those couches and want that stuff, is that part of your business model too, where I can say, hey, I've got this pile, pick it up because I need it to go to this nonprofit, or I've got this pile, this can actually be thrown away, or I've got this and it needs to go to the paint at the dump, right? Whatever. So do you do that sort of specificity on the end? Because I think that message of reuse, recycle,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So to answer your question right now, no, we're not. Just because it takes time to find a partner to work with you. And today, Salvation Army and I'm Happy to Have Humanity, they don't take everything, right? So yes, we'd love to have a more cyclical process to our removal. But as of right now, no, we haven't been able to partner with you.
And what that does provide is for our haulers a two-facing marketplace. So they're able to take the goods that they pick up and they can do whatever they want. They can donate it for tax credits, they can refurbish it and reuse it, or they can sell it for a second source of income as well.
Have you heard of Around Town Movers? They actually have a consignment shop in their warehouse because they move things, and then when people are, they want to leave their stuff behind. And I don't know what they do with the junk that has to do with that, but it seems like it might be a good thing to investigate.
Great, thanks, Connie. Can you write that down? So I can Thank you.
Thank you.
Then you, and then.
Hey, John Rickenberg, thank you very much. So looking at potential tier 1 customers, the storage companies and the assisted living / nursing home companies such as Sunrise.
Right.
You're probably familiar with those kinds of organizations, but when you're dealing in the seniors market, it seems to me all the time there's a unit turning over, sadly. And as we've learned, having gone through this with parents, 75% of what's left is junk. So I would push those kind of industry partners.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, two-parter, one short little question. The app tracks what you pick up, or it has the capability of tracking how much or what there is, correct?
Yeah.
So but it depends on how the order comes in. If it's just, for example, from a property management firm, if they don't know exactly what it is, it's just a bunch of stuff, then we do it by the volume. But then if it's like a one-off customer, they get to select a specific item. So yeah, it's by items.
Yeah, because here's one problem that I know that HOAs, property managers, and a lot of residential rental buildings in the area have. accurate recycling records because the county is requiring it of them to produce that information. What you can do is, because the trash removal services, the 123 Junks and others, they don't necessarily keep those records or provide those records on an accurate basis for their customers. But if your app is able to sit there and log that information and provide that back to the customer, one of the rebranding that you might want to do, or one of the angles as far as approach to how you market, is be the recycled pickup and record keeping process for your customers, because they need that information. And if you've ever seen a report that comes from, say, American Junk or whatever it is, or even BFI Industries or whatever it is, the records is awful. It's just an estimate that they can sit there and send in. I think if you guys approach it and try to tweak the app a little bit to be more focused than that, and then market to the idea or concept that you're picking up the recyclables, because the big trash haulers are charging premium for the recycling, all right? And you never know what's happening with it and what with that. But if you focus on that and be the recycler pickup and market to the HOAs and all these others, as a cost, more competitive, that's where your advantage is, and that's where your channel could be, is the fact that you're hauling recyclables, not just junk. That gives you a unique identifier in the market.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Lisa Hams, Health Markets. If you're trying to target folks like real estate agents and maybe professional organizers and people like that who are going in to clean out a lot of this sort of thing, have you gone to any of their associations, be an exhibitor, get your word out at some of their large meetings and that kind of thing? Maybe that would be a platform.
We're starting to do that as of right now. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Hi, Deb Cohen, management consultant. John Rutenberg took the exact words out of my mouth, so I have to admit to come up with another idea. I thought about working with counties when there might be an eviction. So if there's a property that has to be vacated quickly, or they move things out, and that might be something that's much more happens right now as opposed to it's planned, or it could be planned. But it seems to me that might be, because there are lots of counties around here, and I'm sure there might be some unfortunate business.
Oh, absolutely. So honestly, we just had one of those situations happen this past week. So that's why we're urgently trying to build out this next application to allow real estate agents and counties, for that matter, to push an order through without having to know exactly what the items are. So it's literally just you put in an address and you don't see, and it's done. It's as simple as that.
Yes.
So back to the BFIs and those guys own all the people that you want, right? They have all those connections.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like one of the problems they have is being able to schedule and interact and, shorten that service gap. Can you white label or partner with them to say, hey, we can step in and help you fill that gap to, it doesn't matter what truck, nobody's looking at the name on the truck, we're just gonna take it away and everybody's gonna be happy.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. Absolutely. We've, so like I said, initially, the first customers we've had was a natural fit from my parents' waste management company. Because they don't like doing it because, one, it's the customer service time requirement to actually take the phone calls, write it down, schedule it out, push it out to the haulers, to individual vehicles. Also, it's potential damage to their trucks, loading up a dresser or something like that. So yeah, the natural thing is to connect with those people. However, it's really hard to do that. You get gatekeepers who really don't want to push you up to people who can make decisions. So it's a long sales cycle. So we're working on that right now, but we're really kind of focused on staying afloat and trying to get business in today. But that's a great point. Absolutely.
So I can connect you with somebody who just out of Advance, because they just got bought out in the area.
Is that American Disposal?
No, Advanced Disposal, they're based in
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Can you write that down? Thanks.
Two things. You keep talking about national stuff, but you're also referring to local as well. Are you local? Are you regional? Where are you right now? And of course, I understand you want to expand nationally. And if you are local, have you looked into the local chambers, the local associations, and so forth? And then the second part is, how are you advertising, letting people know that instead of just calling Tommy Senior, your dad, to call this?
We are extremely local. So our philosophy is to get real big local and then scale out regionally and nationally. But to answer your question, we're trying to tack as much as we possibly can. In a perfect world, in a vacuum, we would try to hit all this stuff at the same time and close it all. But scheduling meetings, getting there is a challenge that we faced. But we're certainly trying to approach that to that angle.
How are you getting your name out there?
Advertisement wise, right now, just social media marketing, word of mouth is big in our industry. So we're really kind of just trying to hit our property managers. I think when we get our application built, and we're talking in the next couple of days, we'll be able to go to property management firms where I already have established relationships at and say, hey, we have a product for you. We already have people on it in your office using it. And we'll present it to them. That's kind of what we're doing here today. And that's kind of the way we're approaching getting our word out.
How, when you move beyond your family, how do you propose to vet the haulers that would come into your system? As a consumer, somebody that would pick a company, I want to be assured that they're a legitimate or they're good.
Correct. So as of right now, we do background checks, and we do obviously we sit down, but that's not a scalable model. We sit down with everyone. So as of right now, we just do background checks. We check their driving record. If they have insurance, they have the proper licensing. But these guys, like I said, are companies, so they have to have these type of requirements. Well, they don't. Some of them, I guess, could illegally be operating, but we try to sit down and vet them out as much as we possibly can. We'll still have to come up with a solution to do it at scale. But as of right now, we're kind of just doing like the one-off unscalable model as of now.
About the volume calculation, do you have do you have an app that you can, or on a website, can you just upload a picture? Or in the text side, you can take 3 pictures of an object and it calculates the volume of that approximately. Will it help you?
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Right now, for our customers, our tier 2 customers, it's just you select the item and we calculate the price based on the item. For our property managers, they have the ability to upload pictures. But as we, like we mentioned, this is our MVP. As we kind of go through an iterative development process based on the feedback we get from our users, those are features that we can certainly add.
Also, one more addition. There is a cost of dumping using the dump.
Sure.
So I don't know how many customers you have, but do you have an average of that? And I know recycling is expensive, but trashing is expensive too.
Right.
So maybe at the end of a couple of months, you can calculate, okay, this is how much we spend in the dump, like to pay them to discard the material. And if you can save half of it, you can save this much money actually. So can you use that money to be able to recycle or resell some of these products? I mean, it's a math that you have to calculate.
I'd have to go into further details, so just for the sake of time, I can answer it really quickly for you. We're careful with how we engage with our haulers because they are 1099 employees of ours, not really employees, but partners of ours. So we can't tell them exactly what to do with the recycle. We just have to give them the options. We have to say, hey, if you can recycle it, recycle it. Right? Here are the options to recycle it too. Here's where you can do mattresses. Here where you can do appliances and white goods. But it's really up to them what they end up doing with the stuff that they get from us. However, part of our contract says that they cannot illegally dump it, and if they accept payment from us, that's a verification that they're not illegally dumping it.
And one thing, the price that the customers are paying take into account these dumping fees. So generally, it's based on the weight that you are taking to the thing. So that price is already taken into account. So the hauler, when he comes and picks it up, those expenses are already accounted for them.
Well, you can increase profits, and also recycling is big. Like right now, the trash is a big problem that we cannot export it anymore. So it's going to be a bigger problem. So if you are the leader in that, I mean, sometimes they just don't know. Like, if you did this something for 30 years, if you carry it to the dump, you just don't think of anything else.
Right.
But you guys are young, new minds, and you can create a new alternative for them to make extra money and reduce the
Absolutely. 100. There is an incentive not to take it to the landfill, right? Because if you'll increase your profits if you're recycling it elsewhere. it's just kind of that double-edged sword. Like, okay, how much can we tell them, and how much can we engage them to make the decisions for them? We really can't in some regards, but we can just best advise what to do.
Mark and then Tom.
So I'm assuming you have a savvy social media strategy where you're targeting people on LinkedIn that are property managers and things like that. The thing that keeps going through my head is a short video visualization of what it is you actually do. Because the more you talk, the more I get confused about what exactly you do. I thought, like, you started, I knew exactly what you do, and then the more you talk, I was like, oh no, that's not what they do. But if I was a property manager and several times on LinkedIn, a 15-second video went across that said, click, schedule, pick up, done, several times, that would like catch my eye a few times, and I would put your number in my Rolodex for when.
It's funny you said that. We literally just shot a commercial about a few months ago. Whitney was actually our actress in the, in the commercial.
Perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. We
I would want to viscerally, because
Yeah.
my first thought was next door. Like I look at next door and I constantly see people going, anybody know how to get rid of this? Anybody know how to do this? Anybody know? And then I thought, how do you, your challenge question is specifically, how do I get to these people? And you can target on social media exactly what you do. Video is the only way that I'm going to understand viscerally what you do.
That's exactly what we did. Facebook advertising is expensive, so we do as much as we possibly can with what we have. We even tried to get more out of what we have. So we're super resourceful with the money that we spend, and we make sure that we get every single dime and gotta get as much value as we possibly can.
I could chime in.
Sure.
We just met a couple weeks ago about our marketing and our language, and we're trying to figure out what slogan makes the most sense. Right now, it's make space for what you love. What does that really mean? So now we're really honing in on select, request, collect, and I've just been hammering that into all of our marketing.
Right, because like you said, it's really just frequency by which you get in front of people. That's how you sell them. So we're focused on that.
Go ahead. Yes, and then Tony.
Okay, so have you guys thought about hiring a salesperson who's specifically focused on getting the big boys to be your account in any of the property management or storage industries or healthcare industries? And that would be a financial commitment of perhaps a six-figure salary plus commission. But what are your thoughts about directing a salesperson targeting some of the players you've mentioned?
Yeah, that's exactly what we did in June this past year, and they're focused strictly on B2B customers.
Yeah.
Exactly like that. Yeah. We actually going to Capital Home Show, things of that nature. So he's really trying to attack that market.
Have you done any sort of research into your name, like trademarking or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony, and then you. We have 5 more minutes.
Where are you from?
So we've trademarked Haul Pro. We're also in the process of trademarking HaulShare.
So, given we're in the federal government area, have you guys considered applying to be on SAMS.gov to be a government contractor? Here's why. The Defense Logistics Agency, one of the biggest things that they have, they post almost on a daily basis, is they need people to haul stuff away from different government sites, facilities, stuff like that. Everything from recyclables to desks to you name it, they need it hauled away. Have you guys thought about that or even approached that? Because having that as part of it, they request you can then dispatch to your users, to the hauling companies.
Right.
All the government stuff, and it's all under your purview of being the government contractor, because you're taking the order and distributing and dispatching. Have you thought about that yet?
We absolutely have. The only inhibitor to that is that it requires to have a year in business, so we just crossed that threshold. It's also, I think, roughly you have to do 100,000 in sales in order to be a government contractor? or something
Not
like
with
that?
DLA. DLA is open.
DLA,
It's,
okay.
it's whoever's the first person who takes the bid gets the job.
Wow, okay.
And I'll talk to you
Yeah,
all.
Yeah, if we can talk a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's how a lot of companies get started, is they work with DLA because they don't have all the same requirements.
Yeah, I think I was actually referring to the 8A program.
Yeah, no, I'm not, I'm
Okay.
thinking more, defense logistics, once you're in there and start doing for that, then you can go to the other agencies. But DLA specifically deals with military bases, the Pentagon and stuff like that. And they put out stuff like, we need a dead truck hauled away. We need, desks, hauled away or moved or whatever, or sent to they have, those go up almost on a daily basis.
Wow.
We'd like to talk more about that offline.
Sure.
Thank you.
So you brought us a challenge question about your tier one customers. I'm curious, what do you expect the relative profitability to be between your tier one and tier two customers? And what's your thinking about that? Are you really going to be splitting equally between those two markets? Are you finding that you want to focus on one or the other for whatever reasons? I'm just curious.
We can go into a much deeper conversation about this offline, but just a quick answer. The reason why we're targeting more of our tier one customers is because, one, they're more repeats, and two, over our last 12 years or 12 months in operation, we've realized that it's a 70-30 split from our customers being tier one, and about 35% being tier two, and that's kind of what's driving our strategy towards tier one.
Okay, so has weather ever maybe affected your business, or there may be
Can you speak up just a little bit? I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So is there a time of the year where maybe I'm looking at winter, like dumping, maybe there's some people who need some stuff. Has weather ever affected maybe, have you looked at that possibility, or is it a challenge? Those are looking types. Does it affect the fluctuation of your business, or are there types of area maybe I'm looking at winter where maybe business slows down?
Right. So his question was, does weather impact our ability to collect orders, and do we have more of a downtime seasonally? The answer is yes. So obviously the spring, early summer period is our busiest season. Kids are going to school, people are moving. So that's our busy months. It tends to slow down more towards the fall in the winter times. But as of right now, no, we haven't had any problems with weather. I'm sure if the blizzard or something like.
We have time
I was
for
just
2
doing
quick
research.
questions.
It seems like you said Hall Pro. That's like registered by an Ohio company. Is that going to be an issue for you?
Hall Pro.
Yeah, because they do like chemical hauling. I mean, I'm just doing research. I'm looking at USPTO's website, and then HaulShare is not on there. I was just, because I know, like, I dealt with a lot of trademark stuff, and like that's been the issue.
Yeah, it's just registered in Ohio.
Yeah, so
we have a Virginia.
Yeah. Is it Midwest Industrial Supply Inc.?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
So we
State by state.
Yeah, we can discuss more about it.
Okay.
So we're wrapping it up, and we have one last question. And Tony, what's the last question?
So channeling Donnell Johns, who usually ask this question of our presenters, how can the 1 Million Cups community help you?
In multiple ways. A type of environment like this is perfect, right? Where we just have a lot of great minds coming together, asking us questions and grilling us. That's fantastic. Obviously connecting us with people that you think would help us, and being there mentor-wise, allowing us to give you calls when we need you, allowing us to lean on you guys. Again, I was raised on the backs of many great people, and this is kind of where I am. It's why I am here today, and why my partner Abby's here, and why Whitney is here. Not because we're great individually, but because we have been able to kind of step on the shoulders of giants. So just being there for us and being able to leverage you guys would be more than what we could ask for.
All right, great, awesome, thank you.
So thanks, guys.
Great presentation, great conversation. On behalf of the Kauffman Foundation, I'd like to present you with now the graduate of presenting the 1 million cups cup. Unfortunately, you only get one, so you're going to have to get straws.
All right. She drinks the most coffee. She stays up late.
All right. Now, Jen's got some announcements for us.
So we are booked through October.
Yay!
We have some very exciting businesses coming out. Please be sure to join us next week for Fubi. Very awesome app to help you find people with like-minded interests around food, etc. If you are interested in applying, please apply 1millioncups.com/Fairfax. We work with our presenters. We help them prepare. We help them think through their challenge question. Tavi and Abhishek did a great job today. I think they really needed a lot of help, but we were very glad to have you. So thank you for taking the time. Just as we wrap up, please make sure you write your questions down on the card and pass them to the center. And a last reminder, we have our happy hour event next week on the 12th from 6 to 9 in the evening. It's free and open. Everyone is welcome. It's at Chima's in Tyson's.
Cash bar.
Cash bar.
Gotta put that in there. Yes, appetizers are free.
If you're
It's
not
free
going to
with
pay when you're going to go to the cash bar, you pay for yourself. But the food is free. Thanks to Chima's for donating all of that. By the way, the food, not the cash bar.
Yes. And anybody who attends also gets a discount coupon for dinner that night. So if you attend and want to stay on for dinner, you get a big discount coupon for coming to the event.
Fancy
Discount
pants.
Where is it?
Chima's and Tyson's.
Next Thursday.
The 12th, next Thursday. So you'll hear from us again next Wednesday about Thursday. But please register. We have a page on Eventbrite, so we can just keep head count. We're over 50 as of right now. We're going to cap out probably around 80. So please make sure you join us. Bring someone who is interested in meeting the business community. We'll have past presenters, hopefully future presenters there too.
We're also going to have some industry people who are from the financial industry.
So if you're looking for funding, bring a lot of cash so you can help them have a good time. Anyways, you guys have a great week, and we will see you Wednesday. Thank you.